Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am not here with Geeky Sparkles. She's out and about today. You're stuck with me. We're going to talk about Doctor Who. And yeah, everybody's talking about the ratings, right? How bad they are. Deadline is talking about how bad the ratings are for Doctor Who and that things aren't looking too good. We're going to talk about rumor that they're going to pause Doctor Who and try to figure it out. Meanwhile, Radio Times thinks everything's okay. Doctor Who's going to return to BBC regardless of Disney involvement. Doctor Who had its best whatever. Yeah, it's doing better than ever, guys. No, actually, the Radio Times has been forced to admit that Doctor Who is really at an all-time low. Now, they did get a boost, I think it was a week or so ago, because they had a football game lead into the show, so a lot of people just forgot to turn their television off. So it had like 2 million overnight viewers or something, but like how the mighty have fallen, right? I mean, this show was on top of the world even a decade ago. It was one of the biggest science fiction shows on TV, even here in the States, and like nobody cares. And I'm not saying everything's bad either. Bit of a spoiler here if you guys haven't watched the new episodes. I actually haven't watched them, but I did watch some clips, and I'm like really tempted to sit through a couple episodes, but I'm like, I don't know if I can do it. So there's your spoiler warning. You got your spoiler warning? Okay, your spoiler warning. They brought back the Ronnie and they brought back Susan Foreman. And these are two characters that Who fans, Whovians have been asking or speculating would return for ever since the new incarnation of the show, right? Like everybody thinks every female character that shows up is either the Ronnie or Susan Foreman. So they went ahead and they're like, fine, we'll give you 2 Ronnies and a Susan. There you go. Are you happy now? Apparently not. Like if you'd done this a couple of years ago, maybe you could have pulled things out of a tailspin. Personally, I think if anyone should be the timeless child, it should be Susan Foreman, because we never really got a total explanation as to where she came from, why he's grandfather, whatever. That would make a hell of a lot more sense than having the Doctor be the timeless child. But I digress. If it were me, I would have been like, yeah, we're going to bring Susan back and we're going to retcon the retcon and also explain her. And that's what we're going to do. And then that would explain why the Doctor was trying to smuggle her off of Gallifrey or whatever. So anyway, let's talk about the ratings. They're really bad. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Thank you very much. You'll get a woohoo. I don't do woohoos as good as Geeky does. So when she comes back, you'll get a woohoo. There are a lot of boohoos at the BBC though. This comes from Deadline. This is not some alt-right rag. I loved how for like the last 5 years now, it was like, it's just the alt-right. They don't like women and black people. And some of the people complaining the loudest about the direction of Doctor Who have been women and black people, sometimes both. And for the record, guys, I actually like Jo Martin as Doctor Who better than Jodie Whittaker. I thought she made a better Doctor. She had the gravitas. I just did not like the retcon. She had been a future Doctor. I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, okay. That's cool. She got a cool costume. I like the paisley. I like the whole, but no. We had to retcon the Doctor's origin, which I freaking hate. Anyway, this comes from Deadline. Doctor Who ratings dive, supercharging uncertainty about the future of the sci-fi series that nobody's watching anymore because it's been over for at least 7 years now. Deadline, again, reputable news outlet Deadline, I guess. I'm using air quotes here. If you spend any time reading TV news in the British tabloid press, you will know that there is so much speculation swirling around Doctor Who. It's like a meteor shower that has engulfed the TARDIS. Rupert Murdoch owned the... They got to get that in there. Rupert Murdoch owned the Sun newspaper, sparked the latest flurry of rumors, reporting that Ncuti Gatwa had been exterminated from the BBC series amid a ratings nosedive. The BBC said it was pure fiction that Gatwa had been fired. Leaving to save his career is what I have heard. Jumping out of a burning TARDIS to make sure that the stink of Doctor Who doesn't follow him throughout the rest of his career. The Sun's front page story also gives credence to speculation that Doctor Who will be rested after season 15 has finished screening on the BBC and Disney+. Doctor Who Wow. There it is. Doctor Who exterminated. BBC bin star Ncuti Gatwa after Eurovision row. Eurovision row. The BBC, what's the row? The BBC, along with producers at Bad Wolf and BBC Studios, have long veiled Doctor Who in secrecy, meaning that speculative reporting can quickly take root. Yes, there are reports that they're talking about Billy Piper coming back as the Doctor. Like, just hit the reset button. Use some wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey something, and just, you literally can reset the universe. The Doctor has literally reset the universe. Right? Pandorica, right? Can't we just do that again? Just be like, yeah, just go back. And this universe does not exist. This is like an alternate, maybe possible scenario timeline. And we're going to go back to that and just be like, yeah, I don't want that future. I want a different future. Let's reset again. Let's hit the reset button again. That's all you got to do. So what can we say with certainty about the destiny of the Time Lord? Firstly, the show's UK ratings have dropped considerably. Yes. Detractors have pinned this on woke storylines, though it's not clear if this is the only reason people are switching off. It's a big damn factor. Again, let's go back to Peter Capaldi's era. That's when it became very clear that people were losing interest in Doctor Who. And we can argue about the woke storylines, whatever. Bill, I think, was just obnoxious, but people were losing interest back then, but it was still nowhere near as bad as it is right now, right? And when Jodie Whittaker first came on board, they had some of the best ratings they've ever had. Like, I remember her first episode was like 10 million viewers or something like that. People were very curious what a female Doctor would be like. And I think they were also hoping the show would, maybe pick up a little bit. Capaldi's last season, especially, save for a couple really, stellar standout episodes where, it wasn't that great. It wasn't that, and Capaldi is my favorite New Who Doctor, hands down. Like, it's not even a comparison. Like, I didn't really like him that much at first. I'm like, he's really abrasive. I'm like, no, after a couple episodes, I'm like, no, I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. Like, he is perfect. But he had shit to work with, right? So people gave Jodie Whittaker a chance, and you could see the ratings drop. And the reason the ratings were dropping in the case of Jodie Whittaker is, one, the show is boring as fuck. I mean, it really is very boring. That Chibnall's run was horrible. It was just so dry. And also the wokeness. Let's be honest. My son was willing to give it a chance. He used to be a huge Doctor Who fan. Actually, first and only, I think, cosplay he ever did. When he was a kid, he went as the 11th Doctor, he wore the fez, the whole thing, to a comic convention. Everybody thought he was so cute. He had the hair, he had the whole thing going on. And I think he even had a mop, too. I think they let him take a mop. I think they let him take a mop into the convention center. I'm trying to remember. Anyway, so yeah. The ratings dropped, and then the Rosa Parks episode is one that broke my son, and he has never looked back. He's like, the Doctor made Rosa Parks sit in the back of the bus, and the villain was a space racist. Like, he's like, what the hell did the show become? I'm like, yeah, I know, it's pretty bad. He never looked back. That was it. We used to watch Doctor Who every week as a family, every week. And it was over. That was it. That was the end of it for him. So I think a lot of other people felt the same way. So yeah. Anyway, Deadline has analyzed official 7-day viewing figures for the first half of season 15. It does not make easy reading for those involved in Doctor Who. Oh, according to Russell T. Davies, this is okay. Everything's fine. The bigots are mad. That's okay. For every bigot that leaves Doctor Who, we're going to have 10 more progressive people. We're going to pick up 10 more people they're going to watch. And that is not what happened. The first 4 episodes have averaged 3.1 million viewers, which was 800,000 viewers down from last year's season, which was Gatwa's first as the Doctor. Compare the first half of season 15 of Whittaker's last outing as the Doctor, and things get uglier. Season 13 was watched by 5 million people over its first 4 episodes in 2021. 2 million more viewers than the show is currently managing. We're like down to half. This is bad. Deadline has used viewing figures from Barb, the UK's official ratings body. They include on-demand and streaming viewing on televisions, because the Radio Times would like to say, well, people don't consume television like they used to. You have to go by the, whatever, plus 28-day whatever thing that they're doing. Yeah, there it is, 28-day figures. Nonetheless, 7-day viewing is usually directional, and the pattern of decline will likely be reflected in Doctor Who's final ratings. The second important thing to say about speculation around Doctor Who is the drama's key figures, including Gatwa, have done little to dispel the sense of unease. Gatwa told viewers to go touch grass if they didn't like the changes to the show. You never do that. That's like, everybody keeps using this hot dog vendor analogy for like selling, comics or whatever. It'd be like, hey, yeah, bigot, buy my hot dog and I hope you fucking choke on it. You bigot. You don't want to choke on the hot dog? Okay, that's okay. Don't buy my hot dog. I'm not going to sell my hot dog to you because you look like a Nazi. I don't like Nazis eating my wieners. Go touch grass. I'm saying, like, how ridiculous this is. On Friday, the BBC repeated the line. It's held for many months. No decisions will be made about renewal till 15 has finished screening. Well, they better get on it because usually Doctor Who takes a while to produce because it's an expensive show with a lot of special effects. And if they even pause a little bit, it's like, well, we're just going to do a special here and there until we get around to doing a proper season. And you could see, like, during Moffat's run when he was working on Sherlock, it was like, yeah, Doctor Who's just going to do, we're going to split the season in half. And then we're going to treat each episode like a special. That's what happened. BBC was prepared to say Gatwa had, in small development today, the BBC was prepared to say that Gatwa had not been fired from the show, but refused to deny he quit. Gatwa's rep has been contacted for comment. Meanwhile, Disney Plus has also not commented on whether it intends to remain a co-production partner. Why would they? Disney's trying to pivot to make money again, and this show is bleeding cash. They committed to 2 seasons. That's all you're going to get. It's not even their shit. It's like buying the neighbor kid a sports car, right? Like, if you just lost your job, you're not going to buy the neighbor kid a sports car and let your own kids walk to school or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's they're going to take care of their own first. As for Russell T Davies, he has actively blown wind in the sails of reporting about Doctor Who being rested. Speaking to BBC Newsground last month, he said that there might be a pause. So there are scripts written for season 16. It doesn't mean they're going to get made. Doesn't mean anything. Daily Mirror's Doctor Who authority, Nicola Metevin? I don't know these people. I'm sorry, I don't know these people. Has reported that stories for 2 seasons are planned out, even if there is a pause. Doesn't mean they're going to use them. BBC spokesperson says, we previously said the decision on season 16 will be made after 15 airs. The deal with Disney was for 26 episodes. And we still have an entire spin-off, The War Between the Land and the Sea, to air. And as for the rest, we never comment on the Doctor and future storylines. Yeah, it's not looking too good. I've been speculating Disney was going to pull the plug because it doesn't make any sense. The reason they bankrolled Doctor Who was they needed content for Disney Plus, and it's not getting watch time. Therefore, and it's not their product. They're not going to make Doctor Who stuff in the parks. They could have. That would have actually been kind of cool when it was popular to maybe add a Doctor Who attraction to the UK pavilion. But the show's dead now. They don't even have that much merch in the parks. They used to have all kinds of Doctor Who merch in Epcot in the UK, and there's very little now. Do they even make toys anymore? Do they have a Ncuti Gatwa action figure? If they do, I don't think anybody's buying it because nobody's watching the show. That's like when they had the Build-A-Bear of Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, and it came with a sonic dildo. That was weird. Anyway, this is coming from the Daily Mail. Ncuti Gatwa was going to leave Doctor Who days after pulling out of the Eurovision gig, and the show to be put on pause amid falling ratings and woke storylines. So they said, rumors of his departure came after a sudden withdrawal from presenting the UK's Eurovision jury scores on Saturday night after Israel. Okay, so he's getting political. Okay. After Israel, represented by an October 7th survivor, made the finals. Ncuti has been vocal in his support for Palestine. So because Israel made the finals, we're gonna pout and oh my God. This is like I remember watching, was it The Masked Singer? And Dr. Ken stormed out when Rudy Giuliani was under the mask. Like, oh my God, guys, I can't believe it. He just rage quit. I'm like, oh, come on. This is all performative. It really is. TV Insider reportedly said if the final nail wasn't already in the coffin, it was well and truly hammered in after that point. Yeah, if you just don't show up because you're like my politics. Bosses were incredibly disappointed. They're being very British. No, they were fucking pissed. If they were American, they'd be fucking pissed. Apparently, nobody's allowed to get angry over there except for except for Peter Capaldi or whatever. Fuckity bye, Shooty. Fuckity bye. Shooty has the Doctor as one of the corporation's most high-profile faces. Yeah, you're a company man now, Shooty. If you're playing the Doctor, you're a company man or a woman, but you have an obligation to represent the company, and you basically told them to get fucked, right? Doctor Who was watched by 2.5 million last Saturday, 2 million fewer people than watched Jodie Whittaker. Now I heard it got a bump because of the football game leading into it. I don't know. Last year, Gatwa told critics, don't watch, turn off the TV, adding, I feel like anyone that has a problem with someone who's not a straight white man playing this character, not really truly a fan of the show. No, that's not the real issue. I don't really think that's the real issue. The stories have been ass. It's beyond who's playing the Doctor. The show has a lot of flaws. It's gotten away from adventures in time and space. And it's I mean, there's always been some social commentary, especially with Russell T Davies, but it hasn't been this heavy-handed. I mean, it's basically like, hey, we're going to hand you this massive budget and you can do whatever the fuck you want. Jeez. Some fuming Whovians are outraged at the introduction of trans non-binary characters. Yeah, there was a big emphasis on that. Now, again, Russell T Davies, RTD's era, yes, that was absolutely positively there. In fact, Captain Jack Harkness, one of the most popular characters from that era of Doctor Who, openly multi-amorous or whatever the hell. Like, I mean, basically, he'll screw anything, right? And played by a gay man, and people loved him, right? I mean, it was a plot point. It wasn't the plot point of the show. I mean, there's always been that in, especially New Who, there's always been a little bit of that. And it was, but whatever. It wasn't, again, it wasn't the focal point, and now it is. And that's what people are having a problem with. Current Doctor has yet to comment on any claims he's leaving. Well, he's not going to. I don't think he's allowed to. So let's see here. TV source told The Sun, this is The Sun, he's been exterminated. His withdrawal was incredibly embarrassing. It caps what has been a largely depressing tenure in the TARDIS for Ncuti. Again, imagine being given this kind of a lead-in. You have David Tennant as a lead-in, and you've got probably the biggest budget that Doctor Who has ever had, and you still manage to fuck it up. It's only money, right? It's not your money. It's not your money. It's British taxpayers' money. So it's Disney's money. Just burn away, man. Maybe that was the point. Maybe that was the point RTD wanted to make. Like, maybe he's anti-corporation, so he wanted to stick it to Disney. Right? He just wanted to be like, yeah, fuck you, Disney. Reps for Ncuti, the BBC, and Disney Plus were contacted by Mail Online. I'm sure they're going to rush to get right back to you. Ncuti caused problems last week when he pulled out of Eurovision because of the Israel thing. Executives were left crossed and exasperated. Oh my God. I just love how they're like, yeah, we're not really that angry. We're just very cross with you. We're just very disappointed with you. Ncuti, how could you do this to us? We gave you, millions of pounds, and this is what you did. You told us to go pound sand. Statement issued by the BBC said, due to unforeseen circumstances, Ncuti Gatwa was no longer able to participate as a spokesperson during the grand final this weekend. Just replace him with a ginger. That's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. Oh God. So yeah, so he's all mad because of the Palestine. Oh my God. I haven't been paying close attention to this, but that tracks. He's the Rachel Zegler of the UK. Oh my God. And yeah, that's it. He's gonna get gone. So this show's toast. They're gonna have to pause it for sure. Come up with find somebody that's not just freaking just completely pickled, as Geeky likes to say, pickled with the politics, and then move on. I'd like to see, what I'd like to see kind of like a 1970s punker Doctor, and bring the scarf back. Give him like a red scarf or something. And I'd like to see that kind of like a like a Sid Vicious type Doctor Who. That'd be kind of cool. I think that'd be kind of cool. Get a younger guy in there, with spiky hair. Lean into the punk scene of the 70s, and that's your like badass doctor, but also very funny. And give him the scarf. That's what I would do. But I'm not in charge, so what do I know? Anyway, I'm American. They're not going to let me be in charge. I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.